I think it's time to dust off the guillotine.
Yes, chop chop, off with their heads. We cannot let the artists eat cake.
Nope.
We have a situation in our hands. OpenSea is considering a 0% royalty fee for creators, and I'm not down with that.
Nope.
The Queen is not down with that, and we're going to get spicy and talk about why you should give a F. Let's get into it. Welcome, everyone. If you are new here, we do content on NFTs, Web3, and the digital art space in general. You can subscribe. It helps us creating content for you. And now let's get into this crazy debate that is happening all over the Web3, NFT, and crypto space. Royalties. What is going on? OpenSea recently dropped a bomb on us. They dropped a huge bomb on us saying that they were, yeah.
I thought when you're talking royalties, you were just going to talk about me being Queen of Degens, but I guess this is a different kind of royalties.
This is a different kind of royalty. The type of royalties that I'm talking about are a percentage of every NFT sale in marketplaces that gets funneled back to the creators, aka the artists that made the thing, the NFT. Why is this important? For many reasons. First of all, maybe let's do a little bit of a backstory about the internet days of old for anybody who wasn't there. And we will start with a little conversation about a thing called Napster. Now, if you're not familiar with Napster, it was this program that you install on your computer where you had to dial up on your internet, which if you don't know what that is, and believe me, it ain't no fun. So this is pre-Wi-Fi's day. So we used to dial up our internet, load our Napster up, and go searching for songs and spend over 24 hours, sometimes up to 3 days, to download music for free, aka pirating.
Yep.
It seemed like a really good idea when I was a teenager.
Totally.
And I did a lot. And this isn't a confession, though. Maybe I didn't do it a lot. I don't want the FBI coming after me. That never
In theory.
happened.
In
In
theory, we're
theory,
just
it
explaining.
happened. In theory, it happened to download a bunch of music, and this is through the music industry into a TV, because at the time, the way musicians made music was on record sales primarily, and there used to be physical stores you would go in and buy a CD or whatnot and load it into your CD player and pray that more than one song that was marketed was actually good.
Good.
This invention really changed everything, right? So we started downloading stuff for free, and then a lot of bands, Metallica, really got really PO'd because they wanted their money. And at the time, I thought that they were just like mega rich people who should just give me stuff for free. And now I'm old and boring and think Metallica was right. So So they had to go through this technology upheaval and figure out how musicians were going to make money again. And this is what really gave rise to the streaming music platforms that exist today. Problem that we have with these streaming music platforms is that they are extremely centralized. So what does that mean? That means that the people who are in charge of building the product, aka Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and whatnot, they are collecting the biggest chunk of change from the artists, and the creators themselves are getting barely anything. They're not getting what they deserve. And this is not what we want for society for many reasons, including we just don't want another situation where we have these big tech companies controlling everything in our lives. We want to make sure that we keep a thriving art community in the world and we don't turn into one big internet dictatorship. So
artists should be paid.
Artists should definitely be paid. And they are not being paid nearly enough in the Web 2 scenario that we've been living in for a long time. So that was really one of the main draws to the Web 3 and NFT space for most people who are here. The thing that was exciting is the royalties being collected for artwork, because it opens up a new art market. It's something different that we haven't seen before, where artists essentially keep collecting money the way that the music industry still works in some ways behind the scenes. They do have to, if you're going to use a musician's song on TV or something, you have to pay royalty to use that song. That goes back to the artist. But there's been no opportunity for other creators to be able to do this, especially creators who are creating content on the
Yeah.
internet for the internet. So we definitely want to move in the direction of having our content creators be paid. We don't want somebody like Mark Zuckerberg launching Instagram with an NFT marketplace and turning into another centralized disaster. Coming back around to the controversy of the week that I was talking about before, the Queen asked me if she was the royalty I was going to talk about. OpenSea dropped a bomb on us that are considering 0% royalties on their platform. And they're doing this in months of several other exchanges, NFT exchanges, dropping their fees to 0%, which is disgusting, first of all, because these platforms charge a fee themselves to do the trades, and they are completely cutting the artists out. And they will say that they are responding to the market demand, what the consumer wants. If the consumer doesn't want to pay the fee to the artist, then that's the direction they're going to go in. Okay, but I want to
Yeah.
pay the fee to the marketplace.
Yeah.
So I would way rather pay it to the creator.
Yeah.
So just baseline understanding of what's going on here. If you have a ethical bone in your body about where you buy things. And I think that most people do these days. I think we are in the age of wanting
Yeah.
to know what is going on behind the scenes. Be cognizant of what these marketplaces are doing as they are being built and emerging in this time period and who is getting that money? Who's getting money on fees? What are the fees? What is happening? Be very careful about all of these things. Back to OpenSea. So the reason it's a big deal with OpenSea is because they are the leading marketplace and really the ones who started this whole royalty thing that created a huge buzz
Yeah.
over this entire NFT situation as being a huge opportunity for content creators and artists globally as a new way to make money. So it is really disappointing to hear them say what they are saying at the moment. And NFT Twitter is not having a good response to it.
I don't think that the, NFT space would be anywhere near where it is today if artists weren't receiving those royalties. I think so many people got into the
Yep.
space initially because they're like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing that not only do you get paid once for someone buying your artwork, but continuously on secondary." The whole point.
Absolutely. It's the thing that makes it exciting. It's the way that project founders who are artists can continue to earn income and make
Yep.
amazing things. So we definitely don't want to snatch that away from the space. This is something that is evolving. So if we come onto Twitter, I will have this post linked in the description box. This is OpenSea's thread explaining the situation. They are claiming that they are listening to the community about these things, and they have made some statements here that are a little bit tough to understand. Like they are saying that they want to really leave it up to the creators to decide if they are going to enforce a fee or not. But then there's some strange language in here that if people decide to list their artwork on other platforms, that they will enforce a 0% creator fee.
Oh my
So
goodness.
blocking, yeah, trying to cause a monopoly, which is
Yeah.
another thing that we do not want. I think people need to be loud about their demands, especially consumers,
Mhm.
and be careful where you buy things. I also think that creators as need to be really strict about not listing things on platforms that are not creator advocates because this can get ugly really fast. And also
Yeah.
builders who are watching this is an opportunity to make something
Yeah.
with your ethical morals and make the thing that the creators want that will create a thriving art scene and not give in to this centralized BS that's
Yeah.
happening here. And I understand that OpenSea needs to get paid, and I'm totally fine with OpenSea collecting their 2.5% fee themselves for selling things, as long as they're also making sure that the creators are getting paid. Thoughts so far?
I mean, without the creators, they are nothing. There's no reason for them
Yeah.
to if they follow the principles of the Web3 space, I just don't understand how this is even in question.
So here's an argument I've heard, and I'd love to hear your 2 cents on it because it's a real brain fart. And that is that there's nothing that stops me from just sending an NFT to your wallet, and then the creator gets no royalty whatsoever in a private sale, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Where do we draw the line? Do we need a marketplace to create like what do we do in those situations? Do we need a law in place that shows that if you had a private sale, then there has to be like a creator royalty baked in somewhere that needs to end up being paid to the creators? I don't know the solution, but this I'm pointing out the problem.
Yeah. I have faith in the community enough to just not necessarily do that. I understand that private sales happen, sure, but I don't
Mhm.
think a majority of sales are private. So I think that there's probably space for private, but
Correct.
I just don't understand why exchanges are doing this. It just feels very greedy and unnecessary. And I just can't stop thinking about how this is just not how this space is supposed to operate.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that this is a slippery slope
And
into a bad
And
place.
also with private sales, there's just risk as a whole. Like you're still
Mhm.
using oftentimes some sort of tool or exchange. Otherwise, you're going to get scammed. So there's huge risk in that alone. So I
Mm.
guess maybe that's why OpenSea would argue that they should get a percentage. And certainly they should, but they shouldn't take it away from the creator's take.
Just to be perfectly clear, OpenSea has made $35 million
Yeah.
from just Bored Ape sales alone. That's not including any of the other collections from
Yeah.
Bored Ape or Yuga Labs. So they're making plenty of money, and I've heard that they have a pretty small team. So again, this is turning into one of those lopsided Spotify versus the artist situations, especially if they strip away those creator fees.
I think it'll also be interesting to see how much of a topic of conversation this is as we go into a bunch of events towards the end of this month in Miami, from Basel to
Yeah.
Decentral to there's so many things coming up. And I just really hope that people are talking about this and are addressing like what can we do? How can we fix this and help the creators maintain those royalties?
I hope so too. And we do have some time, but not too much, just so the audience knows. OpenSea has created a date for when they are going to start enforcing whatever they come up with. And that date is December 8th, potentially December 8th, 2022. So do attack them from all angles. And if you want to know extreme details about this entire thing, we'll also have this blog post listed down below in the description box, which is a evolving post. This was created November 6th. It has been updated November 7th. Probably by the time this video's up, it's been updated again. So read through this so you really understand what they are doing. If you disagree with it, let them know. Tweet at them. Make a stink. We must stop them. That's all I got. Thank you for tuning in. I'm outraged by this whole scenario. 0% creator fees. This is not something that is good for humanity in general. Artists deserve to be paid, and they need a way to move forward in the digital age that
Yes.
is more heavily in their favor than what has been going on for the past 20 years. And that's all I got to say about that. Thank you very much for tuning in. This was a spicy one. I have a lot of feels about it. Let me know your comments below and how you're feeling. And also, of course, tweet at us if you want. We are on
Yes.
social media and we love to hear from you. And until next time, ciao.